Yat ahalane. Sheya LeAnder Goldtooth Bashachine. Kia ani nursen. Look at the Neabashin. Look at the Neatashache, the Bethajane Dashanella. Adonai Tanabas Havatina Den Nasha. Hello, my name is LeAnder Goldtooth, and today I'll be talking about the Navajo basket. The tools that I use to make a basket are my awl and my scissors. My awls I collected from hunting, from hunters, and I clean it, I boil them, fix them up. Sometimes I decorate them. You can see this one, I put a lot of turquoise shells. Because in Navajo, they say that your tools are living and that they deserve as much decorations as we do. So that's why I decided to put some turquoise on my tools here. When I start to do my basket, I begin in the middle part. I take 3 of the sumac rods. At the very end, I twist them really hard until they become really loose. I have to soak my material beforehand. Afterwards, I wound it around the sticks. It takes me about a week or 2 to fix all the materials and make all the baskets. We're only allowed to end it with a certain type of stitch. And in Navajo, we call this padas hadiki. And this has to be finished within 1 day. This comes from Hash'etia, talking God, using this stitching because it represents where the Navajo people lived. Wherever there's juniper trees, that's where they can live. And when you look at a basket, all of these stitching and everything that we put into a basket, they represent us here within the Four Corners area. It's been about 8 years I started making baskets. I first started out with just making the regular Navajo baskets. But I got so interested in it that I started taking off and I started making all the other types of baskets. So it's been quite a while and I like it. I love it very much. Every Navajo basket maker has to start out with is some people call it wedding basket. It's important to know this is not just used in wedding, it's a ceremonial basket. But this is the main one that I have to make for ceremonies and weddings. I also make the water jugs. We call this one hushje in Navajo. And it's a basket that's woven and we seal it with tree sap. And I also make a third type. This one's more rare. We call this bena'achite, or sometimes some other Navajos call it titsis. And this is our Navajo burden basket. And it's a whole nother type of weaving style. It's a wicker. You use the whole sticks and you weave it to make the fabric portion of it. Making baskets is a family effort. Me and my sisters go and collect truckloads of sumac and we start splitting and preparing it. And to us, it really means life. It means in Navajo, it means kinship. When we collect these materials, we make our offerings to Mother Earth, the Father Sky, and we start collecting them. We also sit and we talk about stories and songs and prayers, and we talk about the people that we're making them for. Spider Woman, Changing Woman, all of the holy deities. And so to us, to my family, they are living beings. They're an expression of us. The purpose of making basketry in the old times was survival. But the main purpose of making a basket was to cook in, to bathe in, to carry water, store water, living. That's the purpose of making baskets. When I make these trays, these bowls, sometimes during Kinagda, they actually do make the mush and different types of cornmeals in the basket. During the blessing way ceremony, they use the yucca soap. They wash their body and their hair in the basket, get rid of all of the sins and things that haunted them. The water jugs, we put our medicines in here. We also use it to carry water from the springs. These baskets are used to gather like corn. When I go make herbs and stuff, I use this basket to collect all that. It's also used to kind of sift out little bits of debris. And one of the purposes of this basket too is to redistribute all those seeds and stuff when you collect it. Because of all the little holes in here, little bits of seeds and dust, it actually falls through the basket. And when you do that, it actually helps the plant to regrow in different areas. So the main design that I always do is the wedding. People call it wedding basket, as I said, but the main design that I use is called igehe. This particular, we call it ani. It's ba'ad. So this is the female leader basket. The white first part of the basket represents Namasan, Mother Earth. These black triangles represent Ziftakiyini, the sacred mountains. Sistajine, so Zidog o Say, the Bensa, Zidna o Tihi, Zichod, The white center of the basket also represents the stars. This white part of the basket represents Chehwan, it's the doorway. These two black lines that surround it represent Sotazin, the prayers and songs to the holy people. These 12 triangles on top represent Kostishish, the black clouds. They also represent different Diyin, the holy people. This white ring before the last stitch represents Yedike, Father Sky. The last stitch represents Yod-Ahazla, space, the universe, cosmos. So this is the main design that I use. Nowadays, when Navajos make baskets, they're a little thicker and their stitching are wide. But after looking at studies and old baskets from collections, I've discovered that Navajo baskets were made completely different. They were finer. They had different designs. The techniques were really complex. And I was wondering why. Why has it disappeared? And after going to those museums and things, I come up with different designs. So all of these designs and the way that it's woven comes from inspiration from old baskets that we don't really make anymore. Basket making has brought me a lot of good things. I go to ceremonies. I try to make them heal the patient. I always think about the dye and all the things that I put into the basket. They're real. I try to help people with my basket because all of the plants that I use in the dye, they're like medicines. Mother Earth heals them through my basketry. So basketry really teaches me how to be patient. Before, when I was beginning to start making baskets, I was just trying to hurry it up, and every lace just broke. After I calmed down, really took my time, and my basket started to become nicer, and the stitching started to come out cleaner, has taught me how to really calm down, be one with nature. Even when I go collect all these plants, I have to be patient. I have to know when to pick it. I have to know all of this stuff beforehand. So patience is the main thing I take away from basket making. My main inspiration for basketry, family history. My great grandma, her name was Asa. Her name meaning pottery woman. She used to make not just only pottery, but she used to make basketry. And my mom actually started making baskets too. I remember sitting down in the kitchen of my grandpa's house and she was making a basket. And I listened to my stories of my grandpa. All the stories he shared were about different designs, different meaning, and all of those things, they really inspired me to start making baskets full time.